Om Shri Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Voice of God, Volume 1. Main title, Society. Chapter 69. We should be calculative. To be calculative are words used by all people in Tamil Nadu, including the educated and the ordinary. When I saw before me several people from the Accountant General's office, are they not checking the accounts? I remember this saying. In matters of money, we are mostly careful, measured. Nobody need to teach us this. Will we give a paisa more than the correct price of anything? No, we will not. That we are calculative in money matters is a truth. But we pay money and purchase several things. It is here that we do not want to be calculative, measured about the number of things we purchase. For us to lead a peaceful life, very few things are enough. If we are to earn money just enough for these few things, there is no need to run madly. There is no need to leave the country and the continent and give up our ways of life. There is need to earn money. For that, the time that is to be spent in spiritual quest, meditation on the Lord, and for helping others has to be wasted in countless measure. Time is wasted in two ways. First, the time is spent in earning, and secondly, time is wasted in going in search of unnecessary things. The result is we destroy our spiritual peace, and often by the disappointment caused by unfulfilled desires, we suffer. The real way of being measured is to spend after considering, is this thing necessary to keep ourselves alive? To bargain effectively the price of a needless thing and not paying a paisa more will not mean being measured. Not only in the matter of money, but also while speaking, not a word should be spoken in excess. The talk should be measured. That way, time will be saved for us and for those who listen to us. Instead of chattering, if one gets used to speak briefly, sharpness will increase and there will be brightness in speech. Energy will not be wasted either. A lot of quarrel and bickerings will be avoided. Even ordinary people ask, we can pour out things easily. Can we mop them easily? Thiruvalluvar also says, whatever else one may not protect, tongue should be protected. But all over the world, it is an era of talking. Newspapers are full of this man's lecture, that man's lecture. If it is examined whether anything is being actually done, it is zero. Mostly, it is to hide the fact that actually nothing is being done. They indulge in bombastic speech and create an illusion of having achieved something. After money and talk, it is what we do. In what we do also, we should be measured. Just because one likes a thing, unnecessary acts or bad acts should not be indulged in. One should not engage oneself in an activity which is of no use for self-elevation or the good of the world. The most important thing is to be measured in thinking. Now, our mind thinks a million thoughts in a second. There is no count of thoughts at all. It should not be allowed to go this way unchallenged. With whatever effort, trying little by little, this stream of thoughts has to be arrested. To think about only one thing, not thinking of a thing, but becoming the thing itself. These are not possible now. Even so, from now on, we should begin to think of good things only as far as possible. As the mind gets scattered more and more, correspondingly its strength decreases. By arresting the thoughts, if the mind is turned towards good things, it will function efficiently and will produce noble results. Instead of allowing the mind to run after unnecessary things, we should be calculative and think only of selected things. Since money matter is important for us, I started with it and said that in every matter, speech, activity, thoughts, we should be measured. In practical life in the world, it is impossible that all people can say we do not want money at all. Thiruvalluvar himself has said, for one who has no money, life in this world means nothing. Even so, to earn a lot without any need, to needlessly waste money or have tons of money in the bank are very wrong. Money should be earned with a sense of contentment and should be spent carefully. Personal expenses should be kept to the minimum, and to the extent possible, money should be spent for charitable causes. Among all expenses, what is spent on charity is real income. By this, we earn punyam. The spiritual ennoblement that cannot be attained by spending for oneself is obtained by charity. If we are measured in our personal matters, even poor people can do charity in a small way. A few paise they give in this manner will be regarded by the Lord as a million and He will bless them. There have been lot of people who were themselves extremely poor but helped to the extent they could in good activities. Even now, such people may be there. Every rich person feels that he must be like another who is more rich. By spending on luxuries and ostentation carelessly, he becomes indebted. In the world, it is the rich man who has more debts. Though this may appear to be funny and surprising, this is the true position. A lot of poor people are there who have no debts. But among the rich, not to be in debt is rare. If he gives up the false sense of status, he will not have this much expenditure and debt. If everyone asks himself whether it is fair on his part to lead an ostentatious life when so many are suffering and control their expenses, a lot of charity can be done. It can be ensured that no one in this world is without food or clothes. By such philanthropy, Lord's grace can be gained, which can never be had by ostentatious living. Not only the poor, but even the rich have to think on these lines. Is this thing necessary for us? If we do not have it, will we die? Were not our fathers and grandfathers happy without these things? Questioning like this now and then, they should be calculative in spending. If this is done, then one need not have to be calculative about giving. Just as more and more water keeps coming as we dig on a river bed, the more we give, the more Mahalakshmi's grace will grow. In our country, it used to be said that even water should not be used excessively. The reason why this was said is that if in regard to one thing, the attitude of parsimony is not there, the same attitude will influence other areas too. To be parsimonious is not to be miserly. To be free from ostentation in personal matters and to be calculative is parsimony. This will help charity being done without being miserly. Along with this, to be measured in speaking is to be considered important these days. If some infectious disease is virulently spreading, do we not treat that on priority? These days, speaking has spread virulently. In our literature on morals, it is said that if there is silence, there will be no tales carried. If there is less talk, there will be less quarrels. Even in the West, there is a saying that speech is silver, silence is golden. This is an aspect strongly emphasized for spiritual development. It is said that silence is at the threshold of jnana. Even if we cannot go that far and remain totally silent, we should strive to reduce speaking substantially. All the columns and columns of talk reported in the newspapers only result in arguments and counter-arguments and breaking of heads. Is there anything useful coming out of these? As if that is not enough, we too comment on it till mouths become dry. Is it useful in any way? We have to think whether our energy can be wasted like this. Control over the tongue should be practiced. We should talk just what is necessary. We should speak only those things which do not hurt others. We should speak only such things as elevate the self. It is difficult to control the thoughts. It does not matter if we cannot now achieve it. But we must curtail the disease of speaking incessantly whatever we are thinking. I am now telling you that in speaking we have to be measured. In saying this too, I must also be measured. Otherwise, the talk will drag on and useless debates will come up. Apart from this, by talking in an unrestrained manner, the point may not be driven home and may lose its value. Step by step, there should be a limit to words, deed, and thought. In the end, there should be control over the mind, speech, and the senses. Mind thinks, the tongue speaks, and the body does the act. If all these come under control, it will help spiritual welfare. Along with this, I first mentioned about spending money. Control is yogam. Yogam is to keep together under control without allowing to be scattered. We may conclude that Lord Krishna too has spoken on these lines in the Gita. He says Sankhya and Yoga are the same. Let us keep aside the various explanations that Pandits give for this Sankhya philosophy. If we look at its direct meaning, it is seen that the word Sankyam is derived from Sankhya. Sankhya means to take count. We talk of Jnana Sankhya. If we get into the habit of keeping count of everything, it will help develop in us the undisturbed even state. Such even state, when it matures, it is yoga. I started with the most worldly matter of money and said that we should be measured. It has taken us to the highest philosophy. Tirumular also says in the same way in Tirumantiram. Tirumular, who wanted to make the point that true learning is to understand the Godhead, says, those who have understood being measured are learned. What he says is, unless we are measured in the matter of understanding what is true and what is not true, and accepting what deserves to be accepted and rejecting what does not deserve to be accepted, we cannot see Godhead. Om Shri Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara.